Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. We are in 156th session of the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. We are discussing chapter number 15, and we have covered until verse number 9 in the previous session. So we are discussing a very interesting chapter. Krishna is talking about samsara vriksha, the samsara sagara, and we are all caught up in the samsara sagara. So it's a high time that we actually come out of this samsara vriksha, which is actually binding us so strongly. So we have discussed some interesting points in the last session, but before that, let us actually chant the pranam mantras, all of us. You can all join your palms. We have Hina Mataji, we have Vinodji, we have also Dev joining us on StreamYard, and we also have Lakshmi Mataji joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. So kindly join your palms and let us chant the pranam mantras. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and my beloved spiritual master. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome back, all of you. So, in the previous session, we had discussed until verse number 9, right? So, we also have Uma Natarajan joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. So, this is a very interesting chapter, and like I told you, that there are some very important and key philosophical aspects described by Krishna in this chapter, especially that which is about the inverted banyan tree. He is talking about this Ashwatha tree, which is inverted. So, this material world is what? It's an inverted reflection of the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world, everything is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. There is so much of freedom. But what happens in this material world? It is inverted. Inverted means it is Asat, Achit, and Ananda or Nirananda. There is no actually Ananda here, right? So everything is temporary. There is no freedom. That's why Krishna is saying that this is a tree which binds us. This samsara vriksha, this ashwatha tree binds us. But the most unfortunate thing is that this tree doesn't stop growing. It grows more and more and more because we have so many unlimited desires, and because of our desires, this tree has a lot of shoots growing, and that's how the whole life becomes very, very complicated, and we are entangled very badly, right? So that's why Krishna is giving us this knowledge now, so that we can uh, untie ourselves from the samsara vriksha and cut off from the samsara vriksha and gain the true freedom that which we all deserve. It's not that we don't deserve. We all, as spirit souls, we deserve that freedom, but through knowledge. So that's why this knowledge becomes very, very important for all of us, right? So how the living entity gets entangled, that is explained, and Krishna also mentioned that very personal instruction Krishna gave. What is that personal instruction? In the seventh verse he said that mamai vamsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana, all of you are my fragmental parts. You are all my own amshas. So Krishna is making this very personal gesture. So he's saying that you are all my parts. So we are very deeply connected with Krishna actually. So, but unfortunately, we are being conditioned now. So that conditioning of the body, conditioning of the mind needs to be removed through knowledge so that we truly experience that, yes, I am the fragmental part of Krishna. What a great thing it is. Just to know that, I am a fragmental part. Some people just to associate with the prime minister, to associate with the Ambanis or the Adanis, they feel so great. And someone who is actually born in that particular family, oh, he's my father, such a rich person is my father. People feel so happy about being connected with such a great person, right? So now imagine Krishna himself is saying that you are my fragmental part. So we have a deep connection with him actually. So when we understand that relationship with Krishna, then we'll be so happy actually, very, very happy. Because everything belongs to him and we belong to Krishna. That means everything belongs to us, right? So that idea, Bhoktara Meghnadapasam Sarvalokam Maheshwaram, instead of trying to get everything in this world independently, you better actually catch hold of Krishna because everything belongs to Krishna. So if you really want something, don't try to get all of these things independently. Just go to your father because your father has everything. Everything belongs to him. You just go and surrender to him. Everything belongs to you then, automatically. This is the secret of getting everything in this world, right? But people are trying so hard to get everything independently. I am working so hard. I will work hard. Oh my God, what is the use? You're going to get only little bit only with your efforts. But if you direct that effort right in the right direction, then you'll get everything that you want. Correct? So, coming back, let us go to the next verse. Very, very interesting verse, actually. So, Hina Mataji, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the 15.10. Krishna is saying something interesting here. Utkramantam sitam vapi
उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि
Bhunjanam va gunanvitam
भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितम्
vimudha nanupashyanti
विमूढा नानुपश्यन्ति
पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः.
पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुतः चक्षुषः.
So please read the translation.
The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much. So you see here, Krishna is saying, what did he explain in the previous verse? In the previous verse, he said, let us go to that verse. See, in the previous verse, Krishna said, the living is 15.9, not 14.9. So the living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. So, what happens? We have the panchendriyas, right? Jnanindriyas. So, we understood that how when the soul leaves this body and goes to the next body, what does he take? He takes all the indriyas, the Shashtan Indriya, which are the six senses, the five Jnanindriyas, and one with the mind, right? Mind is the sixth sense. All of this group together is taken. The Indriyas are taken from this body to the another body. We understood how there is a difference between the Indriyas and Goloka. What is Goloka? The senses that we see, the eyes, ears, nose, all these things are made up of flesh, right? Flesh and tissues. This is not Indriya. The eyes that we see are not Indriyas. Indriya means the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to taste. That ability is called Indriya, right? So that abilities are taken over, and then the soul moves to the next body. Just like we gave that example, that how when we want to shift from one house to another house, we first pack everything, and packing all the items, we call the packers and movers, load it in the vehicle, go to the new place and unload it. So when we unload it, what happens? The kitchen items will go into the kitchen, the bedroom items will go into the bedroom, the living room items will go into the living room. Similarly, when the soul carries all these items, packs up all these things from the old body, goes to the new body, it actually unpacks all these senses back into the similar position. Right? The eyes will go to the eyes, the ears will go to the ears, and similarly all the other senses. So this is what we understood. But what Krishna is saying now in this verse is saying that the foolish cannot understand how the living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of three modes. But one who has jnana chakshu, one who has knowledge, then he can actually see. So this is what we have to understand today. So it's very, very clear. If you want to see the reality, knowledge is important. Jnana chakshu. Jnana means knowledge, chakshu means eyes. So when your vehicle breaks down, when you're on a long drive, you open the bonnet, you see all those engine and other parts of the car. We will not be able to make the head and tail of it. But the mechanic, when he comes and he opens the bonnet and sees, he is seeing the same engine and all the different parts of the car, but he looks with jnana. And immediately he'll tap here, he'll tap there, immediately he'll connect something and the engine is on. Right? How did he do that? Jnana chakshuhu. So knowledge actually makes a lot of difference. So in our life also, we all are trying to become happy, but we are tapping here, there without knowing exactly where to tap. Right? So that is why it is important that we need to have this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. So let us understand and decode this verse a little bit. So Krishna is saying that one who are foolish cannot understand. They are ignorant people. See, ignorant people, they don't have that experience of the self. And because they don't have the experience of the self, they don't have an experience of God also. Because before God realization, you need to understand yourself first. It's very, very important. That's why the very, very, very first lesson that is given to the Vedic students in the Vedic times. Of course, now it is not Vedic time. In Vedic times, what is the first lesson? Aham Brahmasmi. Who are you? What is the self? Is the first lesson taught to the children. But now, moment the children go to the school, they are taught twinkle, twinkle, Baba, black sheep, all these different things are taught, and they have no clue who they truly are. Right? So, ignorant people, because they don't have this knowledge right from the beginning, they ignore this. But people with knowledge, they have an experience of the self, they have an experience of God, right? And if you truly ask anyone, each one of us deeply we know we have an experience of what? We have one experience that I exist. Do we anytime doubt our own existence? You ask to yourself, do you exist? Yes, I very much exist. Each one of us, whether it is a cat, it feels, yes, I exist, but I exist in the cat body. You ask a lion, yes, I exist, but I exist in a lion body. Right? Each one of us, we have no doubt that we exist. That experience is there, that I exist. My existence, there is no doubt. Each one of us, we have this existential experience, right? If you ask anyone, oh, do you believe in God? Then they say that no, I don't believe in God, or at least they say that I don't have, I doubt. They don't say believe. Sometimes they say I doubt the existence of God. So there are two kinds of it. One don't believe in God. One is they doubt the existence of God. But if you ask them, do you doubt your own existence? No, no, I don't doubt my own existence. Right? So they have doubts about existence of God, but not their own existence. Very, very important. So this is what they are not able to understand because they are not equipped with jnana. They are not equipped with knowledge. That is what we need to understand. See, this body is inert. But how does this body become sentient? Sentient means we are able to experience things. We are able to see things, hear things, touch things. All these things are possible only with a sentient person. We are all sentient beings, right? Sentient means we have sentiments. We have sentient. We have the ability to experience. But the inert body is not able to experience anything. You look at a dead body, it has no experience at all of anything. It is dead. But what makes this dead body a sentient person is the Atma, is that consciousness that emanates from the Atma. So, just like you see any of these gadgets that we have the laptop, we have the mobile phone, we have the fan, we have the these days electrical vehicles. All these are running because of electricity, right? But do we see the electricity? The fan is running. The fan is actually rotating, right? But do we see what is actually causing it to rotate? It is electricity, but we don't see the electricity. The electric vehicles are moving, but we don't see the electricity, right? But we infer the fan is moving because there is electricity, because we infer the presence of electricity. The electric vehicle is moving because we infer the presence of electricity. Similarly, this body also, on its own, it cannot move, it cannot speak, it cannot hear, it cannot do anything, it is dead. But because it is moving, we should infer that there is something which is actually actuating this body, just like electricity. It is not seen, but it actuates everything. Similarly, the soul within us is not seen, but it actuates this body. This is how we infer. But even to understand this inference, we need to have a sattvic mind. But people have different kinds of mind. There is sattvic mind, there is rajasic mind, there is tamasic mind. So, sattvic mind moves towards gaining knowledge. They want to acquire knowledge. They want to remain in a sattvic environment. All their actions are sattvic. But whereas a rajasic mind, it is always hankering for newer and newer things. It is always looking for newer and newer goals. It is restless mind. A rajasic mind is a restless mind, never has stability. And a tamasic mind is dull mind, never wants to do anything. It's a lazy mind. So when people are rajasic and tamasic, they cannot understand, or they have the ability to make such inference that yes, there is something beyond this body which makes me feel that I exist, right? So a wise man, you ask an ignorant man, you ask anybody, they have no doubt that they exist. But because their state of minds are different, they are not able to go deeper into this very important inquiry. So that's why there is a saying. We gave an example of Shivan also, right? So Shiva becomes Shava when the consciousness leaves this body. Shiva becomes Shava. So it is just Shava. Shava means dead, no experience, right? So only with the Jnana Chakshu we can understand the truth. Actually, the Lord is very close to us, but we are unable to see that God. He is close to us, but yet so far from all of us. That is because of ignorance, right? But a devotee can see the existence of God everywhere and in everything. That is the beauty, because he is Jnana Chakshu. He knows how everything is operated by God. Because everything is operated by God, he knows and has an experience of God everywhere. Simple people they are, but because they are self realized, they are God realized, they can see everybody everywhere. They can see God everywhere. Ukramantam. What is that Ukramantam? At the point of death, people, foolish people, don't understand that this consciousness which makes us feel I exist is going from one body to another body. This is called ignorance. What is ignorance? Ignorance means that which we ignore is called ignorance. That means it is there, but we ignore. Just because I ignore doesn't mean it is not existing. It exists, but I ignore it. Right? That's a problem. So, when we have to understand a certain thing, we need to pay attention. Paying attention is very important. Do these days mindfulness is a trend, right? People talk about being mindful, mindful eating, mindful doing, everything about mindfulness. Mindfully we should do everything. That means what? We need to pay attention not to the outer world, but we need to pay attention to the inner world. Very, very important. See, wherever we pay attention, that becomes prominent in our life. If you start paying attention to things which are external, we actually develop our external world. And that's exactly what is happening. People are so much paying attention to the external world. We are able to create a lot of newer and newer things in the external world because our attention is there, and that is what is growing, right? All the materialistic things, science and technology, big buildings, flyovers, all these things are happening because we are paying external attention, right? Our attention is towards the outside things. But when we actually move that attention towards inside, then we start developing the inner world. We start seeing, oh my God, this inner world is so huge. All this about Atma, about the consciousness, everything is so much. External world is not giving me happiness. If we start paying attention towards the inside, we will actually look very happy. We will see a lot of happiness coming to us. But this needs practice. It needs practice. How do we need to pay attention to each and every thought that is coming, every thought, what kind of a consciousness I'm holding. We need to pay attention to our reaction to certain situations day in and out. When we start paying attention to our own thoughts, our own consciousness, gradually we will start abiding in our own self, our own soul. That when we start doing that, yes, by practice, when we start abiding in our own self, you become aware of yourself. It becomes very clear to you what is right, what is wrong. It comes by practice. And the best way to achieve all this is when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna mantra actually purifies our consciousness, and it gives us the ability to be thoughtful, be mindful about all that is going on within our consciousness and mind. Very, very important. Right? So, Vinodji, let's chant the next verse.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So, the 11th verse says, Yatanto yoginaschainam
Yatanto yau yogi nasnachanam
pashyanti atmani avastitam
pashyanti atmani avasthitam
yatantopi akratatmano
yatantoti bhakti atmano
nainam pashyanti achetasaha.
nainam pashyanti achetasa.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly, but those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. Hare Krishna.
Ah. So, this is again very, very important. Thank you so much. So, one who is having jnana chakshu means he, over a period of time, becomes self realized. He has to become self realized. But once a person becomes self realized, then what happens is his mind is very clear and very well developed. And then he knows how the situations are taking place within this body. oh, this body is constantly undergoing a lot of change, but there is something within me that is not changing. So, this developed mind can understand and see that there is amazing inner world, a beautiful inner world within us. There is so much of happiness that Krishna is offering to all of us. But what is happening is there are some people who are trying it, but they are trying it in a wrong way. See, for any of our actions to be successful, if you really want your actions to be successful, then there are things that matter. What are those things that matter? One is you, all the actions that you perform, you need to have a right direction. Number one is the correct direction to perform your action. When you have the right direction, you also need to have the right purpose in life. Only when you have the right purpose, then action, you will achieve success. Along with the right purpose, you need to have the right attitude towards your actions. Very, very important. And the fourth is you need to have the right amount of effort. When you have the right direction, you have the right purpose, you have the right attitude, and then you have the right amount of effort, you will see that all your actions will become successful. Very important. Now, if you don't actually put all of these four, then there is a problem. You will not achieve what you really want to achieve. If you see, number one, see, we are talking about right direction. But if you don't actually get a right direction to perform your action, then it becomes a wrong action. The finest example for this is the scientist. You look, all the scientists, they are actually putting a lot of effort, but all that effort has no direction. No direction. You want to go to Mayapur, you sit in a train, a plane which goes to Delhi. Gone. You will completely miss the direction. Right? So, if you want to go to Mayapur, you should sit in a plane which takes you, or a train which takes you to Mayapur, not to a train that goes to Delhi, wrong direction. That's exactly what's happening to the scientist also. They want to understand the cause of everything. They want to understand the cause of the world, and they're putting tremendous effort, but it's all going in vain because they have rejected the Vedas. And not just rejected the Vedas, they arrogantly think that they are perfect. So that's the main cause. That's a problem with them. So they are actually seeking the truth, but they're seeking the truth in a wrong direction. So in Upanishad, it is said by Yamaraja that how when a person is blind but very very confident that he can lead others, so a blind man leading others, you can just imagine what will be the situation. He will fall into the ditch, but he will take all others also into the ditch. So that's a problem, greatest danger it is. So most of these people also, they are putting efforts in a great way, tremendous way, to understand the truth about the causation of this world, but they are moving in a wrong direction. They are going outwards instead of going inwards. Their entire research is on the object, but they neglect the subject. What do I mean? They're all studying the phenomena, different various phenomena in the world, the phenomena of physics, the phenomena of chemistry, the phenomena of the astrophysics, the phenomena of biochemistry. They are only understanding the different phenomena. They are so absorbed in phenomena, they forget to understand the observer who is seeing all this phenomena. See, I see photosynthesis, okay. They are so absorbed in understanding the phenomena of photosynthesis, they forget who is actually seeing this phenomena. That is a problem. What is happening with most of the scientists in the world is this: they are seeing everything. They're studying about all that they see, but they are not studying about the seer, the witnesser, the observer. They are forgotten. That's a problem. Getting the point? And that's why there is so much of confusion between them. They are not able to come to a clarity because they have forgotten the seer, observer. 100 years ago, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle was established. Even after 100 years, the same uncertainty principle remains true. That means, just imagine what kind of a principle is this which is so uncertain? How can something which is uncertain be a principle, first of all? But they call it uncertainty principle. They are so uncertain. Why? Because they are moving in a wrong direction. After decades of decades, still in a wrong direction. Correct? They're all great scientists, very, very great scientists. Albert Einstein, Max Planck, Bohr, you know, uh, many great scientists are there, Heisenberg. All these are great scientists, but they have impure minds, achetasaha. Because of that impure mind, they are not able to understand the truth. Because of that impure mind, they have become selfish and their egoistic. And because of this ego, they are not able to understand the truth. All this tremendous effort, Nobel Prize winning, all these things for what? Name, fame, and position. They work so hard for name, fame, and position because of impure minds. Impure minds. So, for them, the most of the scientists, consciousness is what? Consciousness is another neurological phenomena. It's a phenomena. It's a neurological phenomena. That is what they understand. So, and such people who think that because of some chemical phenomena there is consciousness, they become role models for all the students who go through the modern education. They become the role models. And imagine when such people become role models, there'll be chaos, confusion, and people are going away from the truth. They're going away from reality. That's a problem. Millions and millions of dollars are actually pounced upon all this research that they are poured on the research that these people are doing. But what is that research is taking you nowhere close to the actual goal and actual truth. So much of money is going into all of this, right? So that is why we need to become intelligent. So this is the wrong direction. We are supposed to go in right direction, but success doesn't come if you go in a wrong direction. The next is you have the right direction. That means what? You accept the Vedas, you have the right direction, but you lack the right purpose. You have a wrong purpose. That means what? I study the Vedas. I study all the scriptures, but from an academic point of view. I study the Shankara Bhashya, the Ramanujacharya Bhashya, the commentary by the Madhvacharya. We study all of this because I can academically understand these things so that I can differentiate between one to other and comparison can be done. All these different philosophies I can compare and debate. If I don't want to debate, at least he'll go and become some professor in some school, some philosophical school, and then he will tell, see, this is what is philosophy. And he says to his students that this is told by Shankaracharya, this is told by Madhvacharya, this is his school of thought, this is his school of thought. So, school of thought means what? He is saying that this is Shankaracharya's opinion, this is Madhvacharya's opinion. I have nothing to do with it. This is his opinion, this is his opinion. That is a problem. They don't really practice what they are saying, but they only talk about opinions. See, truth cannot be understood by opinions. Our opinions has no value. Our opinions has no value. When we say that fire has the ability to burn, it is not Shankaracharya's opinion or Madhvacharya's opinion. Fire means it will burn. It is truth. Correct? What are these great acharyas talking? They are not talking about their opinions, they are talking about the truth. But these people, they are actually, because of their impure minds again, they compare one philosophy to another philosophy and they actually want to what? Become egoistic. Such people, they don't understand the real essence of scriptures. They don't want to follow what is told in the scriptures. Bhagavad Gita, they will attend class, but they don't practice it. These people, they understand all this Bhagavad Gita and everything, but they don't practice it within ourselves. They still go on with, sometimes they talk big, big philosophies, and they go out and they sometimes smoke and drink coffee, tea, everything they do. They don't need actually any of these. They don't practice basically. I have seen uh, in some of the big, big conferences of Indology. I had been to Udupi once, and oh my God, people are like big, big Timingalas, big thinkers on different philosophies. But in reality, they don't practice. I've seen how these people actually in their own lives, they actually don't practice anything that which they actually say. They're great, they become acharyas, but they really don't practice what they speak. That's a problem. So they don't have the right purpose. So they have the right direction, but no right purpose. Now, what if you have the right direction and you have the right purpose, but you don't have the right attitude? You have the wrong attitude. So there are people like that also. They understand and study all the different scriptures. The Prasthanatraya, the Brahma Sutras they study, the Upanishads they study, the Bhagavad Gita they study. They study all the scriptures and they practice it only with the inspiration to boost their ego more and more. See, I have studied the Upanishads, I know the Vedas, I know the scriptures, to the extent that their ego is boosted so much that they think themselves or they want to become God. So attitude is wrong. So they have the purpose that yes, I want to self-realization, but the attitude is that ego is there. The ego to become God. That's the highest. That's the wrong attitude. So such people also will not achieve the ultimate success. So what if a person has the right direction, has the right purpose also, has the right attitude, very humble, humility is there, but does not put right amount of effort. Effort is very less. That's also a problem. These are lazy people, very lazy people. You tell they know that I'm going in the right direction. They study the Vedas. They have the right purpose. Yes, I want to understand God. I want to understand the truth. Right attitude, lot of humility is there. But I don't want to put effort. You see, I don't want to put enough effort. They put effort, but not enough. Lazy people. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Out of thousands and thousands of people, only a handful of people can actually understand what is the truth. What is the truth? Very, very few people can actually understand what is the truth. Please understand this. So that is why when we actually want to achieve success in our life and all the success through our actions, we need to have the right direction, we need to have the right purpose, we need to have right attitude, and we need to have the right amount of effort. Then we will have the clarity of thought, chetasaha, and we will have the purity of heart to make us kritatmanaha. So when we have the clarity of thought, we will become chetasaha, not achetasaha. And when we have the purity of our heart, we will become kritatmanaha, we will not become akritatmanaha. Krishna is saying exactly these two words. He is using these words, achetasaha, akratatmanaha. People cannot understand me. So we need to have the clarity and the purity, both. And now, how do I get actually the right direction? That's very important. What is the right direction? In which order should we go? How do we proceed, Prabhuji, from here now? You're telling all of these, but how do I practically understand this and apply in my life? Yes. Now, if that has to happen, first thing is performing the right actions is very important. Karma yoge na chitta shuddhi. When we actually perform karma yoga, Yoga means those actions which are meant to please the Lord is called karma yoga. By what happens? Performing right actions, devotional actions, chitta shuddhi, purification begins. The purity of heart is started now because you're chanting, you're offering food to the Lord, you're going to the temples regularly, you're going for dham yatras, you're associating with the devotees, you're reading Bhagavad Gita. All this is what? A karma yoga. So by that, chitta shuddhi, purification of consciousness is happening. It's already happening right now. So the process has begun. So after the purification has begun, then we need to upasana. We need to do upasana. Upasanena chitta ekagrataha. When you intensify these actions and when your chitta is becoming pure, you can actually concentrate better on the holy names of God. See, when we are impure, we cannot concentrate. But when your consciousness is becoming purified, we can concentrate better. Meditation becomes very, very powerful when our consciousness is undisturbed and pure. Right? Ekagrata will come. And when that ekagrata, that concentration begins, slowly, slowly, what happens? You will be able to understand what is being heard. Shravanena ajnana nivritihi. When you hear Bhagavad Gita, when you hear all these discourses, what is happening? All your ajnana is going out. Why? Because all the dots are getting connected. The dots of doubts, when they are connected with knowledge, then all the dots will vanish. It starts taking a beautiful form. And when your doubts are gone, when you become free from the doubts, firm faith is developed within us. So that firm faith comes when Agnana is going. Slowly the Agnana. How that Agnana will go? Shravana. You are hearing now. Bhagavad Gita. By Shravanena Ajnana Nivritihi. When that firm faith comes in, then what happens? Then you can actually do Manana. Mananena Samshena Nivritihi. Some, so what's happening is the more and more when you meditate on the Lord with focused mind, when that ignorance is gone, you will clear all the doubts. All the major philosophical doubts will become clear. You will have no doubts about your own existence also. Very important. And finally, when all this happens, niridhyanena vasana nivritihi. All the deep-rooted vasanas which are there, the desires, unwanted desires which are there, will be thrown out, will be expelled from your heart. And that is when you will attain self realization. Oh, I am not this body. I am a spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. From Aham Brahmasmi, when you further do your devotional actions, you will understand Aham Brahmasmi means Aham Dasosmi. I am not God, but I am eternal servant of God. That is the true experience of our existence. That I am Aham Brahmasmi means in actuality Aham Dasosmi. I am the servant of God. I can never become God. So that is the purification of mind is required. Now all this is possible only under the guidance of the scriptures, only under the guidance of a guru. We can get the pure instructions. See how beautifully the scriptures and Srila Prabhupada are guiding us. Just like a mother guides the child, the scriptures and the guru is actually guiding us step by step, so that we become pure and understand our true happiness. This is truly knowledge. This knowledge is preserved from one acharya to another acharya in the Guru Parampara system. Why they are preserving this knowledge? Because this knowledge never becomes obsolete. It never becomes outdated. The problems of the life then, the problems of the life now are the same. Our acharyas, they know it. That's why they have preserved this knowledge so wonderfully, and we are able to take the essence of all this, and now we can actually make our life perfect. This is how we are so indebted to our great acharyas in the past. It is eternal knowledge, and it has the potential to transform all of us. All of us, we can get transformed from a materialistic person to a spiritual person. That is the power of this knowledge. But one who does not understand this knowledge, Krishna is saying, such a fool, Atmaha, Upanishads say, such a person who ignores the knowledge of this self is actually committing a spiritual suicide. What happens in a suicide? A person goes and he exploits his own body and it disturbs and destroys his own body. That is suicide. So, one who does not understand this knowledge of the self is committing a spiritual suicide. Very important. So that is why to acquire knowledge also, right, we need to have some basic amount of faith. A little faith is required. Adhav Shraddha. All that Krishna is asking from us is little faith in scriptures, little faith in Guru, a little faith in God. That little faith is very important. Only when we have that little faith, Krishna says, Shraddhavan labate jnanam. That little faith can actually help us to develop knowledge further. Very important. So that's why we need to take this very, very seriously. Shraddha is very important. Without faith, we cannot actually do anything in the world. Without faith, you will not even get into the plane. We are having full faith that yes, when I get into the plane, this pilot who is actually taking me on the top will land also safely. That faith is there. Person who does not have faith will not get into the plane only. Right? See, we actually impose our faith on so many things. And the whole world, our whole action is actually going through faith only. You get into a car, get into the bus, a public transport system. All that is because of what? You have faith in the driver. Oh, he has a license. You have faith that yes, this person will actually take me to the right destination. That faith is there. Everywhere we are operating with the level of faith. So Krishna is saying that little faith, you put it here. And you see, Shraddhavan labate jnanam. You will acquire the great knowledge. Right? So modern science, they want to define consciousness, but they want to define consciousness in future. They say, oh yes, we are very, very close. The scientists are about to understand the real cause of consciousness. We are very close to finding it. But it is just a matter of time. In the future, you will see we scientists will be able to define what is consciousness. All the best to all of you. Through this materialistic endeavors, we cannot understand consciousness. The direction itself is wrong. They cannot understand. So that's why they need to have faith in the Vedas. Then they will understand the spiritual science. Right? So you're getting the point? So this is how step by step we need to move forward and understand our true identity. Very, very important. Krishna has so beautifully explained now that only a person with the faith can move forward and he will become Chetasaha, he will become Kritatmanaha. Otherwise, we will remain Achetasaha and Akritatmanaha. Right? So this is how we have discussed this 10th and 11th verse today. There is a question, I think, on the YouTube. Okay. Nature of ice is chillness, nature of fire is heat. These are inherent nature of ice and fire. Now, persons, vasanas are similar to these. Yeah, the nature of ice and heat, I understood that point, and these are inherent also. Persons, vasanas are similar to these. Now, vasanas are not inherent, they are developed. The vasanas are not the qualities of the soul. They are developed over a period of time because of our experience with the outer world. See, for example, when there is a gulab jamun, when I taste that gulab jamun, there is an experience of taste, sweetness. That experience goes and sits as a vasana. Next time when you see that gulab jamun, you feel, yes, this is amazing, I need to eat it. Why? That experience is there, previous vasana is there. So that is vasana. That experience with when the sense comes in contact with the sense object and it creates an experience, that becomes a vasana. But the nature, what we are talking about, the fire, about water, that is different from vasana. How? For example, the fire has two inherent properties. What is that? Fire has two inherent properties. One is heat, one is light. You cannot separate heat and light from the fire. There is no such fire which does not give you heat, which does not give you light. Have you seen any such fire? क्या आपने ऐसा अग्नि देखा है जो प्रकाश को नहीं देता है या फिर हीट को नहीं देता है? No. Fire means, Agni means there should be heat, Agni means there should be light. Back, because that is the inherent property of fire. That is the dharma of the fire. What is the dharma of the fire? To give heat and light. So when we say that I am Atma, what is the inherent property of the Atma? Two things. The inherent property of the Atma is one is to love, one is to serve. One is prema, one is seva. So these are inherent properties of the Atma. This is the true Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma of the Atma is what? To serve others, to serve the Lord, and to love God, and to love everyone. Loving and serving is inherent to us. That's why you see even a dog. It serves the master and it loves the master. That even the most wildest of the animal like the tiger and lion also have the emotions of love within them. Why? Because that's an inherent property of the Atma. So vasanas are different from dharma. So vasanas are not dharma. Dharma is inherent. It is inseparable part of the Atma. But whereas vasanas can be changed through knowledge. Vasanas will, the experiences can be changed. So that is how it is. Hope you got the point. Yes. Any other questions? Okay. So if you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask in the WhatsApp group anytime. And those who have not joined or subscribed to the channel, you can subscribe to YouTube, our Sauji online channel. And also, you can post your comments as questions. And if you want to join, you can join the WhatsApp group also. The description will have one of the description in the previous session. I have not uploaded the description here in this video, but in the one of the previous video description, you will find the link to join the WhatsApp group. You can join the WhatsApp group so that you can also ask the questions and also receive the daily thoughtful, nice quotes everyday basis. Okay. So with this, we will end our session today and we will continue from where we have left in the next session. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Dev, Hare Krishna Hina Mataji, Hare Krishna
Hare
Vimaji,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji.